Really, the reality is this: abstinence is really not possible. That is what I felt, that parents are the vital tools to win the fight against HIV/AIDS.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you understand? So, like if we should go back to the military, there is need for us to incorporate family values. There is need for us to teach them biblical principles, to let them see why sex outside marriage is dangerous, why they should not be involved in such activities, and why, because virginity is a woman's treasure. We need to let them know it needs to be a virgin until marriage. Yeah, I believe if you pass such information across to teenagers, they are likely to hold on. They are likely to zip up. They are likely to not to have sex until they are married. So I think parents are the most important tools. They are the vital tools that we have at our disposal to defeat HIV.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. That's good, and I'm glad that you really brought that out in the book. I think this is something it's really good for Sunday school classes and small group sessions, and people to take your book and sit down and use it for group discussion. It's a good way to open up, because a lot of times parents don't want to talk about it and people don't want to talk about it, but it just makes for a really, really good, I think, tool to use in your sessions in small groups, especially for young people. Well, for anybody, but especially for young people. Now, you also mentioned some misconceptions about how people can acquire HIV through hugging, shaking hands, eating together, sharing a comb, sitting too close, insect bites, and toilets. So you say that there are a lot of misconceptions, and you make real clear in the book that you have to be careful and know that you can't acquire this through things like hugging and shaking hands.
Linda, when it was first discovered, if it is pronounced that one is HIV positive, everybody runs away from such person. Nobody wants to talk to the person. Nobody wants to associate with the person. Nobody wants to sit down with the person. Nobody wants to reason with the person. And that is not the scenario. So that is why I was able to point out in the book that HIV is an issue of the blood. It's never an issue of the physical body. That it is not a contagious disease. That you must have taken some certain activities for you to acquire HIV from an HIV positive person. So, hugging does not transmit HIV. Shaking hands, eating together, sharing comb, sitting together does not transmit HIV/AIDS.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that out, because I think a lot of people, especially when it was first coming out, did have that misconception, and they probably treated people like they had leprosy or something, and they just didn't know.
Yeah, right.
What I think probably the best way to identify whether or not you have the virus is through blood test. Is that right? You can take blood test?
Yes, there is no better way to actually find out whether one is HIV positive or not. The best way and the most authentic way is to go for an HIV test, and that has to be through a blood test. That is the only way. Other way.
Yeah, you said here that medical science has made some success in producing antiviral drugs. At present, there's really no absolute cure, but certainly people have medications, and they're living a lot longer today through these antiviral drugs. Is that not true?
Yeah, that is correct. That is very, very correct, Linda. And I must give kudos to the medical science, because they've tried in their own capacity to produce a cure. Yet they've not gotten one for now. But there are drugs that can actually suppress the disease. That are on drug. The drug will probably help you to live longer, and that is nice. That is nice. The Bible says that with God all things are possible. So we shouldn't rule out the God factor in everything that we do. So I believe that in a miraculous manner, HIV, like every other disease, can be cured.
Yes.
through prayer. So because I've seen, like I wrote in the book, a lady shared her testimony, and she was holding her result to testify to the fact that, I mean, she had been cured of HIV through prayer. So it's possible. It's possible. That's what the Bible says, that what is impossible to the medical doctor, it is possible to, through the divine intervention of God. I'm sure a lot of people have received that divine healing, and that I'm sure is possible.
Yes, that's so true. That through God, I mean, people can be healed, and I'm a firm believer of that. I'm a firm believer. Yeah. Now, time won't allow for me to go through all of the good portions of your book, but some of the chapter's subtopics talk about women at risk, youth at risk, and again, we talked about abstinence, the parental role in the fight against AIDS, cure for hopelessness, living a life of moral excellence free of AIDS, poverty, corruption in AIDS, and destroying the yoke of HIV/AIDS through prayer. And what I really like is that you have a quiz even at the end of the book that kind of recaps some of the things that you discussed. And again, it just really makes, I think, for something good for group sessions as well. Well, for those of you that are listening, we have been talking to Oladipo Obisesan, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, who has a book entitled Living Without AIDS, and the subtitle is Helping Families and Youth Win the Fight Against AIDS and Attaining a New Dimension of Living. Well, Oladipo, it has been a pleasure talking with you, and I would encourage everyone, again, especially our youth leaders, teachers, and pastors, to purchase the book. It'd be, again, a great tool for you. Now, I have your contact information as www.livingwithoutaids.com. Did you have any other contact information that you'd like to give our listeners?
Okay, my website is there. My phone number. I'm sure you have my phone number, which is +234 8000008940. And Linda, I would like to add this. Like the title of the book says that living without AIDS. So what we're trying to do is to curate a world without AIDS, and it's very possible. So how do we intend to achieve that? So like I said, HIV/AIDS develops into AIDS. If you go for HIV test and it is discovered that you are HIV is positive, if you stay with your drug, you are likely to live without AIDS. But if you don't stay with your drug, HIV can develop into a more deadly disease, which is AIDS, and it's a killer disease, and it kills faster. So my advice to everybody out there is to try as much as possible and to encourage everybody around you to please go for an HIV/AIDS test.
That's something that everybody should do. And I know that they have a lot of programs that are set up here in the United States. I'm not sure how prevalent they are, and how are they doing with testing where you're at?
So testing is free in Nigeria. Nobody takes any money from anybody. It is absolutely free. You can walk to any HIV test center. The test is confidential. The information is confidential. No medical person is allowed to reveal your HIV test to the next person. It is a confidential scenario here in the East, and the tests are totally and completely free. No one is going to collect anything from you for being conducting the test for you. So I advise that you, as much as you can, try as much as you can, go for an HIV test as soon as possible.
I'm going to have your website and your phone number even on our website, which is www.reachingcaring.org. But I also wanted to remind everybody that you're also listed on our Speakers Bureau's page. So if you do conferences and lectures, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. So we've got all that information posted. It has really been a joy and a pleasure speaking with you. Again, we had a pretty hard time trying to get together, but
I know.
we finally did. And did you have any closing remarks before we say goodbye?
Linda, thank you very much. It's nice getting down with you. Thank you for your support, for helping us to get this information out there. You have read the book, and I'm sure that you've benefited so much from the book. And I'm reading millions of people out there that they need to read the book as well, because the book contains life life-saving information that your family needs. Everybody out there, you need to read the book to be able to discover what HIV is all about. But the book gives you a better understanding, a better perspective about HIV/AIDS. I believe and I pray that the book is going to be a blessing to every reader out there in the name of Jesus.
Yes, in the name of Jesus. I believe so too. Well, Outreach News is in association with Reaching Out Through Compassionate Caring, your outreach connection. And actually, this interview will be aired on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. And be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook. And again, at www.reachingcaring.org. Again, thank you very much, Oladipo, and God bless you and with all the work that you do.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Outreach News. Outreach News is also linked to YouTube, Twitter, Podbean, Facebook, and iTunes. Outreach News is a division of Reaching Out Through Compassionate Caring. Please check out our website at www.reachingcaring.org.